Lately, humans have been talking a lot about cancer.
Yes, I hear the word cancer quite often in everyday life. It seems that cancer has become a major threat to humans.
I heard that the probability of humans getting cancer in their lifetime is roughly around 30. Humans have it tough.
Wait a minute, we parrots are not exempt either. Non-human animals also have a high risk of getting cancer.
Really? I thought cancer was only a human disease. We should learn more about cancer first.
All right, I got it. Let's learn together about cancer and the astonishing mechanisms hidden in animal bodies. We'll also explore the most peculiar paradox in the biological world, Peto's paradox.
Peto's paradox. That sounds exciting.
Very long academy.
Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments too.
All right, let's start learning right away. First, let's explain what cancer itself is. It'll be difficult to understand the discussion without knowing what cancer is.
I asked you. Even though I know cancer is a disease, there are still so many things I don't understand about it.
Most people probably have a vague understanding that it seems like a dangerous disease. To put it simply, cancer refers to the immortal cells that are born due to genetic mutations.
Immortal cells?
The human body is composed of about 37 trillion cells, and these cells undergo cell division to maintain life. But during this division, cancer cells are born.
So, cell division means that one cell splits into two identical cells, right? Then why do these foreign cells called cancer cells appear?
Well, it's because the cell copies are not done properly. When the cells divide, if there is a failure in copying the genes, then the immortal cells are born.
So there can be failures in cell division. And as the cell division continues, mistakes in copying occur, leading to the birth of cancer cells.
Exactly. Normal cells have a lifespan, and after a certain period, they complete their role and disappear. For example, for us humans, our skin sheds as dead skin cells. And for parrots like us, feathers molt, right?
I see. That phenomenon occurs because the cells die. It would be inconvenient if the old feathers stayed attached all the time. We would become like birds that can't fly just like us. Haha.
That's right. In this way, normal cells reach the end of their lifespan and disappear, but cancer cells continue to multiply without dying, and before you know it, they proliferate in countless numbers.
Cancer cells only multiply from other cancer cells and continue to proliferate almost indefinitely. It's dangerous, isn't it? I've heard that it's a copy error that causes their formation, but is there any specific trigger?
There are various theories. For example, it's said that cancer cells can be caused by harmful factors like chemicals, lifestyle habits such as diet and smoking, and even psychological factors like stress from work or daily life.
So it seems like our daily habits and mental state are related to the development of cancer cells. If we're constantly indulging ourselves, it seems like cancer cells would increase.
That's right. When cancer cells are formed and multiply like this, they can form a mass and become cancerous. Cancer cells continue to divide and spread to the surrounding area.
Our bodies are being eroded. I really don't want to get cancer. By the way, I remember hearing about metastasis, where cancer can occur in other parts of the body.
Yes, that's also a possibility. When cancer enters the blood vessels or lymphatic system and invades other organs, it's called metastasis.
So it spreads throughout the body through the bloodstream. It's terrifying to think that one day a healthy part of our body could suddenly be invaded by cancer cells.
That's right. Cancer cells are like failed copies that are born during cell division, and they have the characteristic of continuously multiplying infinitely. Moreover, they can use that characteristic to spread throughout the body. So sometimes our entire body can be invaded by cancer cells without us even realizing it.
It's scary. I knew it was a dangerous disease, but the fact that it multiplies without limits and invades the body means there's no way to deal with it.
There's still no definitive way to prevent cancer, and there's no complete cure either.
By the way, earlier you mentioned that animals other than humans can also get cancer, right?
Yes, that's right. For example, among primates, colon cancer is common, followed by lymphoma, and among birds, there have been many reports of cancer in captured or captive individuals. Skin cancer, urinary system cancer, and reproductive system cancer are quite common.
Help me out here.
By the way, plants can also get cancer, but their growth is slow and the cancer is less likely to spread, so they don't lose their lives. Trees can form a burrow to enclose the cancer.
You say it so casually, but plants are amazing.
Now, have you started to understand what cancer is?
Yes. Thanks.
Great. Let's wrap up the discussion on cancer and move on to the most peculiar paradox in the biological world, Peto's paradox.
All right, so a paradox means a contradiction, right? What kind of theory is it?
Well, it's the paradox that although larger organisms have more cells and should have a higher probability of getting cancer, in reality, the probability of getting cancer, including humans and other mammals, is almost the same. It's quite contradictory.
Indeed, if the probability of cells becoming cancerous is the same, then larger organisms with a greater number of cells should be more prone to cancer. However, in reality, it is contradictory that the probability of getting cancer is almost the same.
That's right. It's called Pete's paradox, named after the British epidemiologist Richard Peto, who proposed it in the 1970s.
Humans always like to use their own names, don't they?
It is natural to question whether larger animals with more cells would have a higher probability of getting cancer, since cancer is an error in cells. But as I mentioned earlier, the probability of getting cancer is almost the same for all animals, regardless of their size. In fact, humans live over 50 years longer than mice, and we have 1,000 times more cells. Yet the probability of getting cancer is the same.
Living longer means more cell divisions, so there is a higher possibility of cancer cells being formed, right? Moreover, despite having a significantly larger number of cells, the probability of getting cancer is the same.
To add to that, the bowhead whale, which lives for over 100 years and has 3,000 times more cells than humans, rarely gets cancer. This also applies to elephants. Larger animals have a much lower probability of getting cancer than expected.
Wait, so not only are they less prone to cancer, but they are actually less likely to get it.
It's quite strange, isn't it? Peto's paradox suggests that larger bodies are more prone to cancer, but the probability of getting cancer is almost the same for all living beings. In fact, the nature of cancer suggests that larger animals are less likely to get cancer, presenting an unbelievable reality to humanity.
How on earth did this happen? Do larger animals have some special constitution?
You've noticed something interesting. Pete's paradox has been a puzzle for many researchers, but recently some plausible theories have emerged, and this mystery is gradually being unraveled.
Oh, I wonder what theories there are.
For example, it has been discovered that large animals have a lot of tumor-suppressing genes. These genes order the cells that have made an error to terminate themselves. In other words, they eliminate cancer cells.
So, if there is a power to eliminate cells that have failed in cell division, then it's true that they are less likely to develop cancer.
Humans also have these genes, but when comparing humans to elephants, it's clear how different the numbers are. In a study in 2015, it was found that elephants have 20 tumor-suppressing genes, while humans and other mammals only have 1. Thanks to this, elephants have an extremely low mortality rate from cancer, with only about 3 of elephants dying from cancer compared to about 30 of humans.
So, only 1/10 of the number of elephants die from cancer compared to humans. Even though they have such a large body, it seems like they would have many cancer cells. But because they have many genes that suppress cancer, they rarely get cancer.
In a way, cells are constantly under surveillance. Cancer cells that have failed in cell division are found by tumor-suppressing genes and eliminated.
Because elephants have many of these genes, even with a large number of cells, they are able to detect and eliminate cancer cells. It makes sense that they are less likely to develop cancer.
But these genes aren't all good. The more effective tumor-suppressing genes are, the more they decrease reproductive ability. So it's not like they prevent cancer without any drawbacks.
So they sacrifice reproductive ability to make it less likely to get cancer.
Yes, the energy needed to repair damage from cancer cells or to destroy cancer cells needs to be obtained from somewhere. And that energy is obtained by consuming reproductive ability.
I see. So they use their reproductive ability to provide the energy needed for repairing or destroying cancer cells.
Nature can be harsh, right? Small animals didn't sacrifice their reproductive abilities, so they are more prone to getting cancer compared to larger animals. But in return, they have been able to leave behind many offspring and survive as a species.
That's true for elephants and mice too. While an elephant gives birth to one child, a mouse keeps having babies one after another.
That's also a difference in survival strategies. In a research paper published in 2014, they focused on the rate of cell division. According to that paper, when cells are larger in size, their division slows down, resulting in a lower probability of cancer cell formation.
The size of the cells. Does that mean that cells also get bigger as the body gets bigger?
Yes, for example, even among mammals, the size of cells varies. It is said that the volume of red blood cells in elephants which are the largest terrestrial mammals, is about 4 times that of red blood cells in the world's smallest mammal, the shrew.
Wow, so if the body is bigger, the cells are also bigger.
It might feel even bigger because we are comparing the largest and smallest animals. Larger cells have fewer divisions compared to smaller cells, and their division speed is slower. This also means that mutations like cancer are less likely to occur in these cells.
I see. So if cell division is what gives birth to cancer cells, then reducing the number of divisions naturally makes it harder for cancer cells to form.
Exactly. Fewer cell divisions make it less likely for cancer cells to be produced.
I never knew there was such a secret. If our cells divide once while they divide twice, the chances of getting cancer are already half. It makes sense that larger animals are less likely to get cancer.
And there's the hypothesis called hypertumors, which is considered important in resolving the paradox of tumors within tumors.
Tumors within tumors. So in this case, it means another tumor formed from cancer cells.
Exactly. Cancer cells are inherently unstable, so they keep mutating. That's why through continued proliferation, cells with different characteristics can be born.
That can happen too. But what does that have to do with cancer?
Well, you see, the cells born from these sudden mutations actually work as enemies of cancer cells. That's why they're called tumors within tumors, or hypertumors.
Seriously? So hypertumors are the good guys who defeat cancer. With these cells, cancer isn't scary anymore.
Not quite. Hypertumors are good at eliminating the original cancer cells, but afterward, they start attacking even healthy cells.
Huh, what are they doing? This makes them no different from cancer cells.
Well, it's still a tumor after all, but it's said that this is not a problem. You see, new tumors eventually develop from these hypertumors, and they end up being attacked by those tumors. This cycle of cancer cells eliminating other cancer cells is repeated in the bodies of large animals. As a result, it doesn't lead to a situation where they lose their lives due to cancer.
In the bodies of large animals, there is a battle between cancers, you know.
For larger organisms, there is a theory that says small cancer cells have no impact on their health. Let's say a 2G cancer develops. If it's in a tin mouse, it means that 20 of its total weight is being invaded, putting its life in danger.
So even just 2 of cancer cells can be life-threatening for a mouse. But is it not a big problem for larger animals?
Well, if we consider humans, it would only be 2 of their total weight. And for the largest creature on Earth, the blue whale, it's only 0. 2 it's such a small percentage that it poses no threat to the whale.
It's an emergency for the mouse, but nothing to worry about for the whale.
This is just one hypothesis to explain Peto's paradox, but it doesn't mean that one of these explanations is always true. It could be a combination of several theories, or a completely new one might emerge.
I wonder if the day will come when this contradiction is solved.
If that happens, maybe fewer people will lose their lives to cancer. So how was it learning about cancer and Peto's paradox this time?
I was surprised to learn that cancer is a failed cell division, and Peto's paradox is truly fitting for the weirdest paradox in the biological world.
On this channel, we learn about everyday discoveries and questions through science. If you find it interesting, be sure to check out our other videos too.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a positive review. We're also looking forward to hearing your comments. Now let's meet again in another video.
Bye-bye.